If you're not watching Bitcoin price action right now, you're in big trouble. We are at some critical local resistance, and I want to show you guys what exactly is going to happen, what I'm expecting with the price going forward, and the levels to be looking at to the upside and to the downside. But all in all, I want to leave you out with this video knowing what is the highest probability and what's going to most likely happen and what I'm expecting, okay? So following back from where we were in the last video, we were speaking about this level here, which was 107 and 105, 104, okay? We did have a deeper retracement than I expected. However, my base case was that we would take out the lows and reverse, which we have indeed done since then. So sort of something like this, right? Obviously, we took out a bit lower in terms of a flush, reaching this level down here at 104-ish, okay? There's a few reasons why that hit. There was a fair value gap region. There was also a bit of liquidity down there, which we'll go over in this video. But nonetheless, the thesis is playing out right now. All right. So what I need to show you and what I think is the most important thing that you take away from this video is where we are right now in terms of resistance level. Now, the reason why this is locally important, and I'm not saying it's macro important, it's locally important. We're at the golden region. So this is the 618, this is the Fibonacci level, okay? We are also at a fixed range volume point coming in right over here. So we've currently rejected off that, and we've currently seen a retracement to the downside here, okay? So if you look at that, we're having resistance. Now, another thing is an anchored VWAP. Now, whether you want to take it from this high or the impulsive candle down, it's up to be said, but I'm taking it from the impulsive candle down. And I believe there's a sole level of confluence here. So there's about 3 levels of confluence. Now, I am in a $100,000 short position. I've already taken my take profit one. So I can show you here what that was. So experiencing trouble local resistance. I personally took a small scalp at yada yada. Yeah, so that was at that time and moment. Posted just my position and look, checking out the order flow there at the same time too. So we are now seeing that retracement. I will now be taking profits at this point in time because it's a scalp trade. It's already been a 1.8% move, which is 2% basic, well, nearly 2% depending on where you caught the trade from. So that's pretty solid. So what are we looking at? Well, we've had a slight retracement now. We have some support coming in locally at, let me just highlight this so we can see where volume is being value high, value low. I would say 109 is a very good level of support. We're also seeing that here coincide with a lot of retail traders be looking at this this fair value gap here. So they might be trying to long that, but I think probably go about a little bit lower here. Nonetheless, it's been a good scalp trade and it's been an important level of resistance. So once we claim this level of resistance, I think it's going to be very bullish. However, we might, based off what I'm seeing, do a consolidative range for a little bit longer before we burst up. Now, what I want to do is zoom out so we can see and paint the picture and paint what we're actually looking at here. So we had the large flush out. We've had this horizontal consolidation, which has been up, down, up. Now, this is what I've been speaking about in the previous videos before. You can watch the video I did when I was doing the short stream about, I believe it's this one here, talking about the $1.6 billion liquidation.
Hello everyone,
So if we go here, we can see, you can actually watch the whole video and talk about, I was talking about, is that the 1.6? No, that's not 1.6. Possibly that one actually, the one before. Anyway, regardless of the point, what I'm looking at right now is a range. The reason I'm looking at a range is because volume, the order flow isn't looking like anything special is happening. We're not seeing any particular trap traders or anything like that. If you look here, we've saw some longs enter the market here, positive open interest at the lows. Obviously, they've now been stopped out. Or they've taken profits. So let's just have a look here if we can see. So we had 14 million and 14 million. So that was shorts. That was positive. That's positive open interest. So yeah, so right now we haven't seen all those shorts leave the market, those longs leave the market yet. So price might actually drop a little bit lower. What are we seeing here? Price is putting in, yeah, so no divergences either. So that's very neutral price action in terms of order flow. So nothing really stands out to me. However, it was a solid confluence trade, but the order flow wasn't backing it completely. Like if you look up here, the order flow wasn't nothing spectacular. You did have the swing flow pattern of this high, but nonetheless, it wasn't anything granular or spectacular, right? So that's what I'm looking at, guys. What am I expecting going forward? I'm expecting more chop like this, something akin to this, right? Before we end up resuming to the upside is my base case. However, if we start breaking below these levels, I will be very concerned, but I'll update that in live time. Now, in terms of levels to watch out for in terms of support, like I said, I'll be looking at around, let me chuck an anchored view up on here so we can have a look. Something that would coincide within this region, depends when we get there, but you might see something that looks akin to this. Price does that. Or we have a few local highs here, but I would say the confluence is low in terms of how many levels are coinciding in that region. So I wouldn't be looking as that as like a pristine good level, right? You got to look for places where there's a lot of confluence at a level, right? Because that's ultimately what's going to give you those good trades. Yeah, other than that, guys, stay tuned for the next update I do. I'll keep you posted on what's happening in the marketplace. And for now, I will see you guys in the next update. Have a good night and goodbye.